slightly, but he
But the way
pulled
he
it
bouncing
back.
it,
You see that back? You see he's coming back like this?
yeah.
What what is that? He was
But yeah,
having
so the thing I wanted to add on to it is that I don't know if you I mean I'm sure that you know acting, right? Uh,
yes.
I'm not gonna say I'm sure. I know
I'm a
for a fact that
master.
you.
I'm a master.
So if you I don't know if you already played the video or not, but
I'm
if
not
you
gonna
watch
play
the
it now.
yeah, but if you watch the
Everybody get to
video,
take it down. Yeah.
yeah, if you watch the video and um Chris Rock has his hands behind his back the whole time,
Oh yeah.
leans leans in. He's trying to stop himself from having any, you know, natural interaction. And what happens is instead of like, oh, shake extending your hand out to shake his hand or something like that, or
It was
like
an
try to
unnatural
whittle with
pose. It
yeah,
was
it's
an unnatural
unnatural,
pose.
right?
But I'm
Like he
gonna tell
wasn't
you
relaxed.
that is the setup for a fake slap. What we call a nap. When you hide your hands on stage mostly, like say somebody's approaching you and you see I'm right here, and I'm like, what are you saying, Will? Oh, you coming up here to talk to me? Ah, you see, I caused the sound down here with
Hmm.
my hands, but there was definitely some kind of there was a
Lapel mic.
contact with his mic, yeah. So that made the most sound. We actually didn't hear a smack.
Hmm.
So there is a possibility that they chose chaos.
Yeah, and
There still
another
is
thing is
a
that
off possibility. Now they make contact. A lot of times you can't fake a slap the same way you can on on television, the way you can on stage. Because what happens is Chris Rock puts his hands behind his back and he can do the same thing, right? It's harder for me to do because my office chair is kind of bulky, but it's called a nap. So
mhm.
you could do the slap back there. But Chris wasn't even doing that. He had his hands behind his back, his chin was out, he was kind of braced. And Will's even his action, he did a slap in an upward motion. So there wasn't actually full contact because he could have followed through with it. He could have followed through with it and just, like I said, knocking him out. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But that so we can't rule out the possibility that there might have been some premeditation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also you can see like as he turns around, he's smiling.
Who, Chris?
Will Smith. Chris Rock
Yeah.
was smiling the whole time. He was smiling, but when he said when he told the joke, he was smiling. He was smiling when he said, "Oh, that was a good joke." Then okay, you guys are smiling. Uh,
Right.
and then he was smiling as he was getting slapped, and
Mm-hmm.
afterwards he smiled even harder after he got slapped. But Will
Right.
Smith he slaps him,
Because he kept
immediately
going.
turns around with like,
Hey, hold on
oh,
1 second. JT Coin Rings, thank you for the $2 super sticker. Thank you for supporting the stream. Yeah, man. And I forgot my Cash App is going across the bottom. I don't know if anybody hit it because my phone fell in the toilet.
oh
so
man,
so I've been keeping it over there drying off. So I apologize if anybody sent anything to the Cash App. I will acknowledge you on another stream. But yeah, go ahead. What were you saying? You were saying about the
yeah,
slap?
yeah. So I was saying that as soon as Will Smith slaps Chris Rock, he immediately turns around. Like if you go up and slap a man, right, you expect him to
Right.
square up. But he didn't even
Right.
he didn't even finish with his slap before he started turning around. His hand
Right.
still.
So that was my initial thought about this is that Will Smith, like we said, has introduced this TikTok and Instagram persona for a younger demographic. What do they do on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube? What do they do?
Shorts.
Clout chasing.
Uh,
So you want to create a moment. that is memorable. Could it be that there was a plan to create a memorable moment, but something went haywire? Something was off. And like I said, on TV, you can't really, like, what they'll do is they'll use angles in movies. Like if you watch Rocky all the time, as long as you're clearing the plane and you got the angle correct, like if the punch is coming in this way, all you gotta do is go and make sure that your face is. I took stage combat too, so that's how I know this stuff. Yeah.
An expert.
What JT says, but his mouth is shut, and I know an open mouth and a hit could break a jaw. That's a fact. That's a fact. If Will is Ali, you know what I'm saying? Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. He was looking good in the boxing ring. So you think he's got some type of, like I said, some power behind it. At least behind it, a slap. And if you haul off and slap somebody from this far back and you 6'2", 2 something, it's going to cause some kind of damage. Chris got a little bit of like, oh. But like I said, if he pulled it, it was lessening the damage. You know what I'm saying? Now, Will, I think it was a bad plan, but Jussie Smollett was a bad plan too. And I thought about that. I thought about Jussie.
I know Jussie Smollett was probably like, dang, Will, you should have beat me up too.
We got a Will Smollett case going on. And what if that was the case? I mean, because Chris Rock, I could see them getting in contact with Chris Rock, having a conversation about it. Because it was a perfect setup for an Oscar joke right there, for Will Smith to kind of participate in the joke. But instead, they went Andy Kaufman with it. And if you don't remember Andy Kaufman, he had jokes, but they were serious in nature, and they had a dark turn at the end. You know what I mean? So
also, I'm sorry, Frank. But there's one last thing I wanted to bring up right quick is that when he did his acceptance speech, Will did his acceptance speech, isn't it like some sort of like actors thing when they can start off crying to elicit an emotion and then they end it off with telling a joke to lighten up the mood, because that way you can really reel people in? Isn't that how it works?
Yes and no. I mean, it's manipulation, if you want to say that. It's definitely manipulation, but and people are trained in ways to do speeches. But I mean, I would say Will he's media trained, but I don't think he's necessarily. It's hard for him to make those transitions the way he did so quickly in improv. You know what I mean? So like, when his publicist pulled him to the side, there was obviously a conversation about what you need to be saying. You need to hit this, you need to hit this, you need to hit this, we need to fix this up. And then he should have apologized right there. Honestly, if Will apologizes in his acceptance speech, like, honestly, I think the blow is lessened for whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it was meant to send a message of some kind. I don't know. I don't know if they had any type of coordination of this. And why would Chris Rock be down to do that is another question. Because honestly, if I would have seen Chris Rock sell it a little bit more. And the only thing I say is Chris Rock's probably not that great of an actor. What he did was on line with what happens if you're surprised with somebody slapping you.
Okay.
Right. So that's the only reason I would still say it's real.
I mean, I think he really did slap him.
Yeah.
But like the motivation behind it is what I'm coming into play. It's like, okay, you slapped the guy. He doesn't, like, you slap him while he's like, he has his hands behind his back. His feet aren't even squared. They're just shoulder length apart.
Yeah, that's what JT's talking about. His footing was side by side, so there was no power in his strike. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Side by side. So people said it was like, oh, he was just trying to teach him a lesson and embarrass him and try to do it. I challenge you to a duel. I challenge you to a duel.
And then they got shot afterwards. Like,
right. We forgot about that part of the deal.
Yeah, one of y'all got to get taken out. That's what happens. That's what Charlie Murphy says.
Right. Somebody got to leave here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there is some stagecraft. You got two actors doing this, and they handle it like actors. They didn't handle it like boxers, because there's also something Chris could have done. Is not have your hands behind your back when somebody's approaching you. Like most people got the reflex, like, "Hey man, what you doing up here, man? Stop playing, right?"
And that just shows how comfortable he was with him. You see what I mean?
Or he was putting his chin out so he could get slapped.
He's like, yes.
He was like, oh, come on.
He said, yes, Richard.
Right.
He called that man the wrong name and everything.
He was like, what? Ah. But Will, if you look at the angle, definitely pulled it. I'm gonna show y'all. He either pulled it because he didn't want to do that much damage, or he pulled it because he chose chaos. Oh, okay, here we go. This is a close-up of it. Let me see here. Somebody zoomed in a little bit. So if I play it with the audio off. So yeah, you see how he pulls it?
Yeah.
So he makes contact there. He doesn't quite follow through because his angle is off. You see when somebody comes right across, what we would do in the theater is it would almost bounce off of the slap. You know what I mean? If we made contact just to make the nap happen, to make the sound. Okay, so he followed through there slightly.
But the way he bounced in it.
You see that back? You see he's coming back like this?
Yeah.
What is that? Chris Rock holds his face out waiting for her. And I gotta say, every frame of Chris Rock before and after getting smacked is hilarious.
You see, he's like smiling.
It's a traditional Chris Rock face. Yeah, it's like, oh, look at him, look at my teeth. You know, like that type. Yeah, let's see. The elbow was close to the side.
I gotta watch some Pootie Tang after this.
Yeah, side. Yeah. How much you want for one reel? It's like he looks like this in every frame.
Oh my gosh, I love that movie. I'm gonna get you sucker.
I'm gonna get you sucker. Yes, so okay, he makes contact. But you see Will, he's moving back. So he's almost pulling Sting off of the blow by moving back.
He really didn't want to hurt him. That's what it looks like.
It's either that or he's, there's something else going on here.
We over here, we analyzing this like it's Shakespeare.
The mechanics of it is Shakespeare. It might be stagecraft for real. So he definitely makes contact. But
that's so weird right there. Like
also doesn't hit him flush.
Yeah, like it's weird. Like you don't
somebody's eardrum if you hit him in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
You could break their jaw, as JT was saying.
Like what happened to the quality?
Yeah, that's pretty trash. But I mean, that's because they zoomed in. They recorded their TV and then they zoomed into it. So it would be nice to see this in HD, but with bootleg over here. We struggle streaming.
It looked like he about to swing on him though.
Recoil, yeah. Oh damn, they cut it off right there. Yeah, Chris's face is hilarious. Woo!
Man, that one stung. But you know what?
It was like a CB4 reaction for Chris Rock.
Yeah, and then Chris Rock, he doesn't really even move. Like he doesn't fall over or anything. He just kind of like.
And he flinches for it too, right there. You see that flinch?
Right like right beforehand, he kind of knew it was going to happen a little bit.
And then he takes it. And Will pulls back on it. Will's not a martial artist, but that does look like some kind of martial artist. He's keeping his guard up
His
so he
hands,
doesn't
yeah,
get
his
hit.
hand up.
So he doesn't get hit, right?
And he pulls it down because he know he ain't no threat. Oh, you went down in one slap? All right, cool. I can go ahead and walk back.
But he definitely
See,
pulled.
he's moving back now.
He
He's
definitely
walking
pulled
back
it.
now. Right now, he ain't even finished with the slap yet.
He's watching it. He's like, I'm out. I'm out. Back to the block. Yeah. Said, oh, somebody said that was staged. Yeah, his hand barely grazed him. Actors, especially action stars like Will Smith, know how to pull a punch or a slap. This was staged. Chris Rock grimacing for what he knows is coming. So this guy actually says it. No, they're on some conspiracy theory. I ain't even want to give that no like. But yeah, it looked like there was some stagecraft involved.